What's up, gamers? It's your boy JKon. Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing a tier list of breaking down NBA logos. Currently the NBA finals are going on, so I thought it would be a timely action to rate their logos on how I visually think that they look. I'm not the greatest graphic designer in the world. If you've seen my thumbnails, you definitely know. But I will say I do have an eye for aesthetics and logos, and I do have a degree in marketing. So I definitely have, I don't know, I guess an eye for this. I definitely am a fan of aesthetics. I personally will not reflect that 100% of my life, but I do like the way nice things look. So let's get into the tier list today. Let's start with the top. We have the GOAT tier. Obviously, if you're in the GOAT tier, you're number one, you're number two, you're number three, whatever. We're not discussing who's the GOAT here in the NBA. But GOAT tier is basically you're up there, you're almost uncontestable, top five in the world. You know what I'm saying? Depending on the discussion that you're going on. Maybe it's top three or only one. Of course, greatest of all time means one, right? Anyways, let's go to the second level, top shelf. You know that's the good right there. You know that's the good. Let's go to the level is A1. If you've ever had A1 steak sauce, you know it's pretty good. It's a very nice addition. Probably not the best flavor to add to a steak in the world, but it's pretty damn good. That's what A1 is for. Following that is every anime lover or hater's favorite word, mid. If you don't know what mid is kind of just, it's not good, it's not bad, it's just mid. It's a kind of a controversial term nowadays, I guess, depending on what community you're a part of, but mid is just meh to me for the most part. The tier below mid is the dog tier. Now we're going to try to keep it a little bit PG, but you guys already know what I would say after the dog. Yeah, this tier is just, it's not that good. It's pretty much near the bottom. I mean, that's why it's represented. It's dog tier, bro. It's dog. You know what I'm saying? And of course, the bottom tier of it all is hot ass, because there's definitely some hot ass out there. So we like to put hot ass at the straight at the bottom right there, just because, you know, someone's got to be down there. Someone's got to be the foundation. Anyways, let's get into it. Starting out, the Milwaukee Bucks. Okay, personally speaking, I really like the Bucks logo. I'm a big fan of green. I'm very biased. Green is one of my favorite colors, if not my favorite color completely. And yeah, I mean, I think their logo is pretty clean. I like how they have the antlers extending completely over it. I'm a big fan of having the words of the franchise in the logo. So I think it's pretty good. I will put it in solid. Pretty good. Not bad. The Brooklyn Nets. I am kind of indifferent about the shield. I call it a shield. I don't know if it's supposed to be a crest or an emblem, but I'm kind of whatever about it. There really isn't too much to it. I know I just said I like having the words in the logo, and as you can see with a lot of NBA logos, they have their words within them. But yeah, the Nets logo is kind of, it's just mid. I don't think it's that great. It's solid, but it doesn't really stand out to me. I think the B is cool. I think they have really cool jerseys, but that could be a whole nother discussion. But as for the logo, I don't think it's that great, but it's not the worst. The New York Knicks. Okay, I think this is mid as fuck. I know that's super bad to say, but I don't like orange. I'm an orange hater. I will admit it. I am not a fan of orange. I think orange is just too bright of a color, and I'm just not that kind of guy. So I'm going to put their logo there. Again, there really isn't anything too crazy or special with it. It's just a triangle with a ball. But one thing that I will give credit for that I do think is a nice addition is I really like how the Knicks are a 3D level. As you can see, it kind of pops out a little bit. I think that's nice. I just don't like orange. Fun fact, I'm also colorblind to certain blues, so I don't know if that one's like the right blue, but it definitely does not look like the right blue to me. So that's a stipulation that I should definitely put out there. All right, next, the Toronto Raptors. Okay, this is super biased. I love the Toronto Raptors logo. I think having a claw mark within the ball itself, it's just so reminiscent of Jurassic Park. And I did kind of talk about it in my pros and cons about the latest Jurassic World Dominion. I'll reiterate it here. I'm a big dinosaur fan. I was a dinosaur kid growing up. I had all the encyclopedias. I had a bunch of rubber/plastic toys. I knew all of the dinosaur names. I knew kind of what subspecies they were. I knew what time period they came from. I was a really big dinosaur kid. Huge. Jurassic Park, I watched that shit like 1,000 times as a kid. So dinosaurs have like a really big place in my heart. I love dinosaurs. I was a big fan of the Toronto Raptors. 2019 run is probably one of my favorite playoffs to ever watch. It's pretty much GOAT status for me. I love the Toronto Raptors. Big fan. Next, the Utah Jazz. Yeah, I think I think the Jazz logo is pretty ass. It's cool that they have the music note within it. Don't get me wrong, I think that's nice. But outside of that, they don't really have anything to their logo. It's just Jazz. Here, I'll even look, I'll pull it up. This is their logo. Full scene logo. And I mean, yeah, the music note, again, as I said, the music note has a J. I think that's cool. I think it's nice. But everything else about it is kind of whatever. I don't like how they have yellow in here. I think if they just kept it completely blue and green, I would have been more of a fan. It's a pretty sleek logo though. And I think I might have been a little too harsh. I will move it to mid. I think actually the Jazz logo is better than the Nets. But yeah, I think it's whatever. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I will go through this at the end to just readjust and relabel the levels and tiers of logos. This is not going to be my final opinion, and I probably will flip-flop a lot. I'll be honest. The more I look at things, the more my opinion can change and whatnot. But yeah, as you clearly saw, I just went from hot ass to mid because straight up, this music note right here is saving it. I'll be honest, 100%. Also, again, this can be a completely different conversation, but a lot of their jerseys in the past years have been really, really bad. Like really bad. Like the Jazz have gone through so many jersey rebrands in the last few years, and they're just bad. I'm not gonna lie, my favorite Jazz ones is when they brought back like the purple. You see Jordan Clarkson wearing this right now? You see this one? Those were some nice colors. Look at that. The purple, beautiful. The mountain range, it's nice. It's clean. And I think also my bias against the Jazz is problematic. It's because they started out as a team in New Orleans. They're the New Orleans franchise originally. So they were the New Orleans Jazz, which makes so much sense because New Orleans is a hub for jazz, you know. Utah don't got that, bro. It's Salt Lake City, man. Like... So again, I feel like those outside biases should not affect my thoughts and opinions on the logo itself. Again, I might change it later, but just, man, I talked about the Jazz for way too freaking long. Let's move on. The Rockets. I think the Rockets logo is really solid. I like it. I think it's a very clean logo. It's a rocket launching off. If you don't know where the bases of the Houston Rockets come from, it's because of the space station that we have there. That's where a lot of excursions lift off. It's either there or Cape Canaveral in Florida, right? But as you can see in the logo, you have the little rocket right here, the nice little ring around it. You have the exhaust ports. I like it. It's clean. It's simple. It's just an R. It's red and white. It's pretty damn solid. Big fan. Going on to New Orleans Pelicans. Now, speaking of the New Orleans, they've gone through so many rebrands. I mean, they originally were the Jazz, and then they were the Hornets, and then now they're the Pelicans. They've gone through a lot. I would say I like the New Orleans Pelicans logo better than the Nets logo. I am a fan of the Pelican within it, and the Saints kind of icon is very representative of the New Orleans area and the culture there. So I think that's really nice. It helps bring a little bit of representation for the city that they're in. I'm a fan. I like it. I think it's cool. Anyways, I think the Laker logo sucks. It's so boring. It's so boring. It's the ball and then Lakers. And there's better fonts from other organizations and other logos than the one that the Lakers chose. So I'm sorry. I just think their logo is hot ass. It's not good. The Chicago Bulls, although iconic and my favorite team, even though they suck, it's an A1. It's an A1. I don't think it's necessarily goated 100%, but I like the logo. It's my favorite team. Like I said, it is a nice red and white. It's pretty clean. There's no wording on it, which is kind of opposite to what I said earlier, but I think that makes it really nice. The only downside is if you flip it upside down, it looks like a funny image. So I think it's up there. It's one of my favorites, but it's got some memes to it. You know what I'm saying? All right, moving on. The Timberwolves. What do I think about the Minnesota Timberwolves? I like it better than the Nets and the Knicks. Don't think I like it better than New Orleans. So I think I'll put it mid. I think it's solid. I like wolves. I think having Timberwolves a representation of that natural area where a lot of wolves are from, I think it's cool. It's pretty sleek. I like the way that they use the lime green within it to emphasize kind of the star / moon that the wolf is howling at and the wolf's eye. I like it. I like that aspect of it to stand out. You could honestly remove Minnesota Timberwolves and I think it would look just as good. So it's a good logo. It's not bad. The Trailblazers. I'm not gonna lie, I like the Trailblazers logo. I have no idea what it represents. I don't even know why Portland is called Rip City, I'll be honest. But it looks cool. All right, I'm gonna sound like a big weeb. But growing up, being a Naruto enjoyer, everyone thought Obito was kind of cool. I thought he was kind of a weenie at first, and then when they kind of developed him a little bit more, like really wrote out his story, I thought Obito was pretty sick. So to me, the Trailblazers logo is just a variation of Obito's mask. Is it good? Is it bad? I can't tell you, man. But what I can tell you is I think it's pretty good. I like it. I am a fan. The Denver Nuggets are current NBA finalist and my pick to win the NBA finals this year. Their logo is pretty cool. The whole gold mining and gold rush theme that they have to it, I think it's good. I like it. I think gold and blue works a lot better than blue with other colors. I'm not gonna lie. It stands out to me. It's nice and clean. I'm gonna put it at the top of solid. I did go to a Denver Nuggets game while I was in Denver, which was really awesome. It was pretty hype. There's probably a little bit biased just because I was surrounded by all of that stuff. But I thought that going to a playoff game and being in that environment, great experience. If you ever have the opportunity to just go to a game, doesn't have to be a playoff game, but just go to a game in general of any sport that you might enjoy, take the opportunity to. Being there in person is a completely different experience than watching it on TV. And during times of pretty big hype, it's worth going. I would recommend it. So yeah, going back to the logo, I like the cross of the pickaxe. I think it's really clean. I think they have nice, simple elements that also just make it stand out and just really be oomph. You know, it's the Nuggets. You look at that and you know it's the Nuggets. There's only so many logos that have gold in it. There's like, what, 4 or 5. But theirs, I think, is the most standout-ish for the logo itself. So I like it. I think it's really solid. The OKC Thunder. I'm sorry, Thunder. I'm going to have to put you behind the Nets and the Knicks. And this is kind of problematic, but it makes a lot of sense if you think about my reasoning for the Nets and the Knicks. The Thunder kind of did the same thing that the Nets did, and they just used a little kind of shield or guitar pick. It looks like a guitar pick, and they just put the ball in there. It's literally a combination of the Nets and the Knicks logo with a worse font. I might even demote that to dog. If this trio kind of stays at the bottom of mid, I might consider moving some of them down just because we want to have a more balanced list. But yeah. For sure. It's worse than these two combined. I'm sorry. The Memphis Grizzlies. This is an A1 logo. This is an A1 logo. It is clean. It is a great representation of the animal that they are trying to go for. I would say it's very similar to the Bulls, as in they pick a few colors that stand out and match. It is clean. It is nice. I think it's better than the 90s one, even though, you know, the Vancouver Grizzlies with their teal jerseys, those were sick as hell. But I think this new logo is a lot cleaner. It's nicer. I really enjoy how they use the color shading and split it down the middle. They also have a very good usage of shadows without ruining the logo. A1. It's pretty good. The Dallas Mavericks. Sorry, Mavericks fans. I did root for the Mavs back in the day when they had Dirk, and Luka Magic is pretty insane. But I'm sorry, man, your logo is not that great. I'm not a big horse person. I think horses are kind of overused, and you could make the argument that bears are overused. Bears are 100% overused as a mascot, as a logo. In California alone, there's like probably 100 plus schools, including high schools and middle schools, that have a mascot that's a bear. 100%. So don't get me wrong, bears can be an overused logo, but I think horses are also extremely overused. And I'm not the biggest horse person. And I'll be honest, as a kid, I never associated a horse with a maverick. I know there's supposed to be a tie-in, but to me, there was never a tie-in there. So honestly, I kind of like the Nets logo a little bit more than I like the Dallas logo. The Nets is at least like simple and clean. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Dallas's logo, but it's not the worst. The Spurs. This is up there with the solid tier. I think San Antonio's logo is really nice. One, black and silver / gray. I'm a big fan of that combo. There's probably already a bias that you can already see on the list for color wise, but I like black. I like gray and silver. I think it's a nice color combination. Their logo itself is very clean. I think in the early 2000s, they added San Antonio and Spurs on their logo, so it was kind of whatever. But I love how it is a spur of the boot. The logo looks exactly like the spur, not only on the back end, but this front end as to where it attaches to the boot. But it's the U in the overall logo, and I just think it looks so clean. It's nice, it's clean, it's iconic. You know what it looks like. I'm pretty sure if you show somebody what it is, they know what it looks like. Shout out to Wemby, because it's great to be a Spurs fan. I think it's a great logo. Phoenix Suns. I think it's better than the Nets. Yeah, I'll say it's better than the Nets. I think having the ball be on fire and represent the sun is a nice effect. You can't really go wrong with just having a black logo, of course, with it. So it's not bad. It's not bad. I think it's solid. Not the biggest fan of the colors themselves. Continuing on their list, the Clippers. My roommate's gonna hate me. He is a huge Clippers fan. I just don't think that their logo is that great. I like how it's very modern and sleek in that sense, where it all kind of encompasses itself in the LAC. Not really big fan of the ball around it. But if I showed you LAC or showed you CLA without the ball, would you really know what that is? If you had no idea what the NBA was or sports, if you just showed LAC, which they have on their jerseys, they have on their hats and whatnot, you're not going to know what that is. And there's no, I'm not saying that there has to be a connection to what their logo stands for, but come on, a Clipper is a boat. There's no representation here. I'm sorry, I'm going to put this, I'll put it mid. It's behind the Nets. I still think the Nets little guitar pick. No, I'll put it before the Nets. But it's definitely behind the Suns. I think the Suns at least shows a little bit more representation. And yes, you're going to say, well, Justin, if you take out the ball. Yeah, if you take out the ball and it's just an orange circle there, you can still tell that it's a freaking sun. LAC is just 3 letters. Somebody might even see that as CLA. And they're like, what's CLA? Sorry, Clippers fans. Hopefully Kawhi can get healthy. Again, I love that man. Toronto 2019. But yeah, logo kind of mid. The Golden State Warriors. I think it's an iconic look. Not my favorite, but the fact that they use the Golden Gate Bridge in golden and kind of gold is their entire theme, that they go with like cold-blooded and all that shit. It's a nice logo, man. It's clean. If you take out the words, it's still really clean. It's recognizable. And like I said, with the Nuggets portion, it uses gold, which is one of the few that uses gold and it stands out and it does it well. Do I like it personally more than I like the Blazers logo? No, because I think, again, the Blazers logo looks sick, but I think the Warriors logo at least stands out above the mid tier for sure. Okay, let's move on. Detroit Pistons, that's a dog water logo. It's boring. It doesn't show anything really. It's red, white, and blue. I don't really think of Detroit as kind of the hub of America. They kind of have stepped away from their original idea of Pistons. The reason why they're called the Pistons is because they used to have a lot of factories there like GM and Ford, and the auto industry really went through Detroit, so they're called the Pistons. Their old logo from 80s and 90s when Isaiah Thomas was on the team was so cool. The horse and the engine was so cool. This is dog shit. It's boring. There's nothing to it. I don't feel any connection to this. Whenever I think about Detroit, I think about how they've kind of been ass for the last like long time. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty bad. I think at least I like the font and the unity of the font more than I like the Lakers. But like, damn, bro, that's not that great of a logo, personally speaking. Sacramento Kings. This one might surprise you guys. I think this logo is really good. I think it's up there in the A1 tier. I have always loved the idea of canes and crowns. Obviously, I've kind of kinged myself a few times with some of my titles and announcements and whatnot. So I'm a fan of that. Also, I love purple. I think purple is such a great color. And as the only organization in the NBA that has purple on their logo. Yes, I know the Jazz have purple jerseys and we brought that up earlier. Only purple logo. I think it's great. I think it stands out. I like the way that the Kings are written. I like the font on that. I like how they utilize the ball as the basis of the face. The Kings as kind of like the eye line, and then the crown as the crown itself with Sacramento running across it. I think it's a good look. You know, honestly, I might even rate it a little bit higher. Straight up, I am going to move these two up to top shelf. I think they're just really good. Clean colors that stand out, nice shapes, iconic. I don't know. I think it's good. I'm up there. I really highly rate this Sacramento logo now that I'm looking at it a little bit more, man. Like, it's nice. Now imagine if they can incorporate the beam into that. Like, whoo, holy man. Holy. Who wouldn't love that? Again, I'll readjust this when I'm finished. Moving on. Cleveland Cavaliers. Big shield. I like the C and I like the sword that they have in the logo. But when I look at the Cleveland Cavaliers logo, I always am just comparing it to the Nets logo. Now, this isn't going to be my placement. I'm just going to leave them here to compare. If I look at these two, I like the Nets color scheme a little bit better. Yes, there's gold/yellow outline on here. Yes, they have the sword and the C. I think it's just a little too much for what's on there. You took out Cleveland Cavaliers and you left the C, this, and you brought this little shield down, so it's just about this size and it looked kind of like the Nets logo, I think I would like it more than the Nets logo. But personally, I'm gonna put it there. And straight up, we're gonna drop these two. Oh, okay. We'll hold on that. We'll leave that there for now. The Boston Celtics with Lucky. I think this is a good logo. I think it's iconic. I think it's clean. It's green. It's clean. And it just looks good. It's iconic. There's really not much to say about it. It's a good logo. I think it's very similar to the Warriors logo in the sense of that even if you remove the words, you know what it is. It's a representation of the area around it. I think it's nice. And also, can we talk about how it's supposed to be Celtics because that's how it's normally supposed to be pronounced, but everyone calls them the Celtics. So, I don't know. English is weird. The Celtics. Let's move on, shall we? The 76ers. Philly. Philly. I like how they use the 7 and the 6, but I don't like the rest of the logo. I'm gonna put that behind the Cavs. I'm sorry. I like the 7-6, but I don't really like the rest of the logo. I guess the stars are supposed to represent like the 13 colonies, but I've never been a big fan of the logo. The Hornets, put that in top shelf, bro. That is a top tier logo. I love the Hornets logo, man. It's so nice. Buzz City, let's go. I like the color of it. I like just the shape of it. And I think it just stands out. It's just one of those logos that are just right in your face. It's cool. It's badass. It's the only bug in the NBA. So, I don't know. I think it's cool. I like it a little bit better than the others. Washington Wizards. It's cool. You know, capital of the USA. It's not bad. I like how they have the Washington Monument in the middle. They have the big star in the middle. I'm not a big red, white, and blue kind of guy, but I think at least it's cooler than the Clippers logo. Yeah, I think it's cooler than the Clippers logo. Orlando Magic. That's a dog tier. Yeah, that's a dog tier logo. I do not like their logo. Pretty sure I'm colorblind to the blue that they use because I know it's supposed to be blue, but it don't look like blue to me. So I don't really have much else to say on that one other than I think it's kind of boring. It's just a ball with like a couple stars, magic. Okay, cool. There's better usages of the ball, in my opinion, amongst these logos. So it's whatever. Speaking of a logo that uses the ball better, we have the Miami Heat. Heat culture, baby. The other participant in our NBA finals this year. I have always been a fan of the Heat logo. As a kid, I've always liked it. I thought it was just sick. It's a flaming ball going through a hoop. How can you not like that? I think it's up here. I think it's a top shelf logo. I'm a big fan of it. Atlanta Hawks. Hawks is top of A1. I'm not a Hawks fan at all. I do not like Trae Young. Not a big Hawks guy. Don't really watch their games, but their logo is nice, man. I think it's clean. It just looks good. It has a nice flow to it. Something about having basketball club in their logo itself too is just, I don't know. I think it's nice. I'm a fan. I like it. Top of A1 for now. And we hit the final team. Push and P, the Pacers. I think the Pacers logo is pretty mid. I'll put it here for now. It's just a big P. I don't know. They're one of the teams I don't know the origins behind their name. Never been the biggest Indiana fan. So I just don't have much to say about them other than it's just a big P. The ball's kind of whatever. To be honest, I think I like the 76ers logo better than it, but that's fine. All right, let's go through some adjustments and seeing which things that I would tweak. The Raptors for sure are still staying as GOAT tier. I think that's my favorite logo. I am going to move the Kings up. I really like the Kings logo. I really like it. I think having the crown, again, as I keep looking at it, I think the crown just looks so nice. And it's purple. I honestly think it's better than these two. I think the Kings might be top of top shelf. It's just a nice logo. I think they use the ball really well. Like I said in my explanation, I think they use the ball really well. I am going to move the Nuggets up even higher too. I think the Nuggets are up there with the Kings. I think it's really cool. I need to stop saying cool. I think it's clean. Memphis is going to move up. I think I put Charlotte a little too high. Now the question is, do I like the Nuggets logo better than I like the Kings logo? The answer is I don't think so. I think I'm going to put the Heat a little bit lower. Spurs is going to move to top shelf. I think my explanation of the Spurs is pushing it higher for me. Jazz can be top of A1. I was a little too harsh to the Jazz. I'll be honest. I was a little too harsh to the Utah Jazz. I'm sorry, Jazz fans. This is my apology. You guys get to move up a tier. Yeah, I'm gonna move this up to GOAT status, actually. No, I'm not. I'm gonna move this to GOAT status, bro. I really like the Kings logo, man. The purple is just so nice. It's just good. I think the Grizzlies logo looks better than the Bucks. It's just cleaner in my opinion. But I like the Bucks shape more than I like this one. The Hawks is just really clean within the circle. I'm a big fan. All right. So the Raptors and the Kings are my favorite logos. These are all really good, but I think Toronto has some of my favorite colors. Again, the claw marks, I think it's so sick. They use the ball really, really well in that aspect. Yeah. All right. Let's continue to move on through the list. Cleveland should be higher. Timberwolves higher. '76ers. Now, do I like the Nets more than I like the Clippers for their logo? I think that's what I'm debating on. No. Yeah, I think the Thunder logo sucks. I also think the Magic logo sucks. And the Laker logo sucks. Yeah, I think this is my list. I think I'm okay with this. I think this should be finalized. Is there anything that I think that would shake this up is the real talk question. I don't think so. I think these are the two best logos in the NBA. I can't. I gotta put Denver's up there. I keep looking at it and the gold pickaxes that just cross with the mountain, it's just too clean, man. It just stands out. It's nice. The proportionality is really good. I like how they have white on one side, yellow on the other, and then they repeat that same pattern with the ball on the bottom. Denver's gotta be in the GOAT status right now. And then we have the animals, which is up there. Should I move the Hawks up and the Spurs down? Should I swap these two to keep the animal theme? No, I like the Spurs logo better than I like the Atlanta logo. Wow, I actually just shot on the Jazz so hard, but I'm actually moving them above the Warriors logo. I'm not gonna lie. No, can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. Warriors logo is just, it stands out too much. All right, well, I think that is my finalized list where my favorite logo is the Raptors, followed up by these two. And then my least favorite logos are these three. The Thunder is literally the worst parts about the Nets and the Knicks. Okay, cool. Bingo, bango, bongo. Well, hopefully you all enjoyed that section of it. I had a lot of fun, actually. This was really enjoyable.